Hi all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha Mandisa. I hope you are well and taking all your precautions, listening to the rules and staying at home unless absolutely needed. So clearly I have been taking advantage of the fact that I need to go absolutely nowhere, exhibit A. So I thought today would be good because I need to tame this, to have a sit down, pretty much a style and chat where I style my hair and talk about one particular topic, which from the title is working on a production with an ex. It's always nerve wracking, it's always some sort of drama. Like, there are many people who in the industry end up being together and then not being together and then being together again. And I definitely am one of those persons who would have been on a production, on a show, in a competition where I was working alongside a spouse, a boyfriend who became an ex, and then became a boyfriend again, and then it was two separate occasions for sure that I can remember. So I want to talk about that and how to pretty much maneuver in that realm. And it is harder on certain types of personalities and harder on the depth of the relationship. Mine wasn't let me see how to put this. It wasn't absolutely hard for me because of the space that I was in, and I guess because of the nature of the relationship, but it was definitely not a simple process. So yeah, let's get into that. Styling my hair, I'm going to use lots of body. I don't have any fancy camera yet, so that you can see. Water is the MVP. Rubber bands, these are good size rubber bands. Then the coconut formula of Moisture Grow hair dress, this is Palmer's. We also have some carrot tea tree oil therapy. Just gonna spritz this all over my hair, and this type of brush and this type of comb. Funny enough, fun fact, I had this comb for about, let me see, about 12 to 14 years, I believe. It is a Ren comb. I remember it was doing like Carabora home shopping and all these products were there, and I remember buying this. It's definitely lasted a long time, so this is definitely a great comb. It is not plastic, definitely is not plastic. So yeah, let's go. So how I start is pretty much section it out. I'm gonna start down the middle, no parting, because you don't need a defined part because the style I'm going to use. And then I don't put that up in one yet. I go across the back again using my fingers, not using any comb, because I do not want a defined part inside of my head because of the style that I want. My hair is absolutely dry, and absolutely hard. So yeah, on production with an S, this was in the first instance of this was in 2012. I was part of a national competition, and when it started I was in a relationship throughout the competition. I was not in a relationship, and then when it ended I was back in a relationship. So funny enough, he wasn't even supposed to be on the production, but someone had gotten injured and he was called in to fill their place. At that time things were cool and things were rosy, so you know, we're getting along well, blah blah blah. And then the drama came. But I am the type of person who does not, if I'm out, unless you know me, you will not know that something is wrong with me. I'm not a person that will volunteer information, and depending on who you are, when you ask I will tell. If not, you won't know. So going through the process, when we had separated for that short period of time, it was easy to manage, but it definitely had those thoughts like well, I see him walking straight past you, because I was that sort of person. If you don't shout me, I ain't shouting you. So if you come and you don't speak, But sometimes deep down inside you be like, he better speak to me. But you don't plan to speak, but he better speak to me. So yeah, that is part how it started. I'm just gonna add spritz in here before I just pump. He's changing. Ugh. Wait, it open? Ooh, it works better when it's open. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Getting there. Getting there. Ugh. There we go. So spritz all over here to soften it up first. And I see people start from the roots and the comb in the hair, but I like to start from my ends. It works better for me. I'm not a hair doctor, so somebody will ever tell me if I'm doing it wrong. And it works for me, so yeah, whatever works for you. I'm going to start from the ends and work my way up with the big side of the comb first. Yeah, my hair, although it's appears hard when water touches it, it just does what I want it to do, which is to detangle. Then I take the smaller side to make sure it's really combed. And that is that. And I'm going to take the grease and get into those roots all the way in the back. Sorry you can't see, you'll see when I get to the front. And just down here, getting all of the roots in. Comb again. I like to put some of the grease at the ends, and then I don't spray the hair exactly with the oil. I like to spray it in my hand. Alright. Oops. That seems to be giving trouble, so I won't bother about that. Then I will comb it with this. I know the brand is typically a diamond type brush, that's what they use, but I'm using one, so it's separated like this. It's good to go. And comb it all the way through. This helps the curls to pop, which is what I want. And now to add the product, use this or some type of gel, but the gel gives me a stronger hold because of it is gel, and right now I don't need that. I just want my hair to appear soft, so I'm going to use this amount and start with the ends first and work my way through. You can already see that it is curling up. I love that you don't have to add anything pretty much to this. Some more water, but this time in my hand. Working it through. Then I twist, separate it into two, like this. Twist one. This helps with more definition. Just twist it, and it helps to get to the end of the hair and really make that curl pop, because that is a part of the hair that people see first, and I like it like that. So yes, that is what it is. And I repeat this till I get to the top. Back to my story. So I remember I have fallen ill after the semi-final stage of the competition that I was in, and he was brought in around that time. A lot of drama was happening around the competition, so there was a performance that wasn't, it was part of the competition process, but it was just for you to, you know, have a chance to perform the song before going into the final stage, which is something that is really good. So unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity because again I was ill, and me keeping myself until the final was more important. So we had a discussion, persons, myself and the organizers, and thought it best for me to sit out this particular performance. However, I still went to show my face. I wasn't bedridden or anything. I was just not um, physically well enough to perform and still not go back into the space that I was in. So anyhow, the performance day came and I left home. I went down the road. I had to pretty much thank people for supporting myself, the competition, the other competitors, and come off stage. So backstage all of this time, just sitting around watching everybody get ready to perform, blah blah blah. When it came from the older categories, chance to perform now, it was so ironic that upon walking onto the stage to deliver the thank yous and actually support, pretty much my little speech, who should I see first? And he is playing, his neck can't turn, sitting straight away. You know, some when you see someone walking up on stage, sometimes the musicians take a glance. So it's full band, right? It's a full band setting. Forgot to say that. Full band setting, and he's the first person I can see when I'm about to walk on the stage. But you know me, attitude galore, so you're looking at me, I looking at you. I walk straight past, not a glimpse, a glimmer, a smirk, a nod, a set of face, just blank emotion. I walked on, delivered my speech, people applauded, blah blah blah. I got my well wishes, and then walking back, same thing. The other band members not obviously either thought that I was just being professional, or they knew that something was up in the fact that we did not show any sort of communication, not eye contact, no gestures, nothing. It was just dry and separate. So I was off now, and that was pretty much that. Backstage was obviously a tense situation, but as I said, I am very to myself. If you know something, it's because somebody else said something. If you want to know something, you could come and ask, and then depending on who you are, I would tell, or depending on what you're asking and what I would tell. It's complex, I know, but that is just me. And for me, it makes it easier because you don't want everybody and everything, but there's some people that just can't contain emotion, can't contain what is happening, and everybody has to know that things are not rosy at this point. So that's number one. So I'm just going to fast forward up my hair here. So when it gets to this point, I generally start from here and go around again. No defined part. I'm just looking at volume of hair that I have in each section. I've separated into manageable sections. Right now I have 3, but you can do like 4 or how much ever you want to do. Whew. Finally at the top. Don't let the editing fool you. This takes a bit of time, a lot of consistency, and you would have noticed if you have throughout the process that I would have closed my eyes a few times. You know, when you lose one sense, one becomes stronger. So I like to be able to feel what I want to feel in terms of the curls and the texture. I like to feel how wet it is, how much more product I need to add, and closing my eyes allows me to do that better. So yeah. So situation part 2. I was with a gentleman. We were part of a choir. That is how I met him. And things were good, and then things weren't good. So this particular instance, it was just like one of our major concerts. You have a majority of people around, and we had recently broken up. But again, I don't want to say nonchalant. I adapt to things quickly, and I guess that's what makes it appear to be nonchalant. But if we done, we done. If we ain't together, we together. I'm not looking for anything more. So at this stage, we were done. We were not together, and we had a performance to do. So the usual upbeat vibe wasn't happening, at least from me to him. I was just standoffish, which is not normal, and staying clear of him, which is not normal. And because of us being a small choir, and then we had a close-knit bond with majority persons around our age, so obviously you could tell the tension, obviously you could tell the distance, and then on top of that, he was visibly feeling it more than I did. And I'm going to say visibly because again, I am very private about a lot of things up until recently. Very, very private, not secretive, but definitely very private. So, and I have a big sense of time and place. If I'm to cry, I'm not going to cry and be bawling and snotty nose in front of a lot of people. I'll do that in the comfort of my home. But a lot of people are not like that, and emotions run high, and that's understandable. So this particular concert, we got there, we arrived, everybody was chilling backstage or whatever. You know, you would say the hi, you would, half hug situation. Things were going cool. Again, it was to myself for the most part. And then we did the performance. It was good. It was really great. It was a very great choir, and we had a very good youthful voices and the blend was amazing and whatnot. So anyhow, we are at the end of the concert. We usually line the walkway so that person's coming out can greet us, talk to us, and whatever. So that happened, and then we went back to get some refreshments. And upon getting refreshments, I remember a mutual friend of ours just coming to me and was like, he crying and things. I'm like, crying? Because in my head, I would never be caught crying anywhere for anybody to see, especially that was just not me. Like, just not me. It would have to be something extreme. I feel like I only show emotion in my last few years. I don't know if it's a good thing, I don't know if it's a bad thing, but it definitely worked for me. So he crying, and I just standing up there like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do at this point? I ain't trying to hug you to give, mixed signals. We done. So I guess you will get over it eventually. But he was there crying and emotional, and I was just there like, I can't do anything. I don't feel good about you crying, because that's not me. I wish you could deal with it how I'm dealing with it, but that is not the case. And he chose to cry. So difference in people really matters, because for some it would just be deal with it indoors. Some can't help but be emotional about it, and I definitely am one of those persons who, I guess it lends to professionalism as well, but I just am naturally not open about a lot. and of recent it's become a lot better, because, and it was not because I was hiding, that was just not me, but I'm finding it more a need to open up so that I can heal certain things, get over certain things, help other people. So yeah, so those are two instances where I had to work on a production with my ex. I have seen some situations where people were caught fighting, quarreling openly, and just loud and dramatic, and I'm like, and let me never say never, but I never want to be one of those persons. Like, I never ever want to be one of those persons who out of the world or the most over an ex. I see people get stuck at productions, and I'm like, you have work to do. Do the people work? But no, can't get over the emotions. So it's sometimes very dangerous to be in a relationship with somebody that you're on the job with. That's why I know some people have clauses, contractual clauses, where you cannot get into relations with someone that you are working with. And it's for those exact reasons, because emotions cloud judgment, and when you working, you want the job done. Nobody ain't got time to be worrying about who you can talk to, and if you can talk to this person and mess up the whole chemistry of the situation. So yeah, when things are going good, they're really good and things run smoother, people are, joyful. But when things are bad, best believe they are horrible. So for me, if you know you're not a person who can control the emotions, at least when they're out or in a professional setting, try not to find somebody that you have to work with. It is something's hard. You can't help who you like is who you like, but or at least work on being professional with it, even if it is not a case of something that you would do had you not been in a situation. So for instance, if you know yourself a person that likes to talk about certain things and deal with certain things on the spot, but you out and you see something, you gotta know, alright, we out at work, so now it's not your time and place. So even if you have to pretty much diminish how you will deal with certain things for that moment in time so that you keep your professionalism up, do that. Because at the end of the day, all people remember is crazy. They don't remember the reason for the crazy. Few years down the line, they will say like, she had a right to do so, but in the moment people just want crazy gone. And if you out there doing the most, people don't got time for that, and definitely not producers and whatnot. A lot of money is being invested, and they don't have time to be dealing with if he talked to somebody else and it upset you, or if he left the cupboard door open and you can't work remote push it. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm almost done. This is the last section. Have my water going to grease it. Just get in there the best I can. Put some grease at the ends. I just mix it up, storm it out. I'm almost there. Right, so I'm almost there. I'm gonna add my product. Yeah, I really like this. Really like this. I think this is one of the best ones. That's why it's hard to find in stores. So when you can grab it. Because when you come back, it may not be there. And the other trick I do, I usually put it like this even when I'm not using it, because it is so thick, it is hard to squeeze out. So I usually leave it on my chest of drawers like this instead of like this. So that may help you when you're using it. If you use a tad bit more. And I love to make sure my ends are covered, because the ends are the first thing that you see. I'm gonna twist it for a bit. I'm gonna do my edges off camera and come back with it opened and looking like I want it to look. Not quite finished as yet because I wanted to show this part. So because of the twisting, and this is my hair texture, the big twists usually leave an imprint like so, and that's not what I want. So I just separate it with my fingers pretty much all the way through. And yeah, and this is the finished look. And remember, that part from the middle is still there. It is not pronounced, just the way I want it in terms of a part. I usually don't keep my hair like this. My favorite go-to style is to pull it up from just in line with my eye, and then the other side same thing. Take a rubber band and pull it around. And yeah, I usually keep it like this. So yeah. So now I'm going to twist this back and continue enjoying my quarantine phase. But yes, if you're going to work with someone you have feelings for, you like, and then it becomes the ex, just be mindful of all that I would have said and try to keep it professional however best you can. And professional is not rude. Like, you still have to talk to them and not be aggressive or sharp or bitter. It takes a lot and only a few can master it well, but you just have to be mindful of it and not pretend. And what worst thing you can do is pretend like you got discovered, and then you see the man in the corner with another girl, and all of a sudden she is the one that caused drama and you ready to flip a switch. That's not the look. It's not a good look. So yeah, that is my little style on chat on with an X. So hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next video.